we're going to be talking about the real world today. Not that real world, okay? Okay, so one of the biggest lies I feel like older generations told younger people while we were young is wait until you get to the real world. The real world. One of my friends, she Snapchatted me after I had graduated from college. Hey, princess. And I texted her back. Hey, girl, what's up? And then she asked me, so what's it like being in the real world? This was like 2 years after college. I had graduated before her. We came together in the same class. And I had graduated before her. And I was supposedly, quote unquote, in the real world. And I think I got mad at her and didn't text her back. Or maybe I texted her, we are already in the real world. Because we are literally already in the real world. And I feel like that's one of the biggest myths older generations have told us. Like since we were kids, oh, wait until you get into the real world. We've been in the real world. I don't know about you, but I remember being in elementary school, being 5, 6 years old, and noticing that one of the pretty girls, the teachers treated her better. She had more privileges in the class, or she or he would be the teacher's favorite student, and they would get more grace from the teacher. I remember favoritism being a thing. I remember colorism being a thing. I remember teachers even bullying me. I remember overhearing teachers say, oh, her hair, ooh, why is her hair looking like that? I remember hearing teachers tell me to my face, oh, your name is Princess? I didn't expect you to be like this or look like this. So we've already been in the real world. Like from the very beginning, we've been in the real world. When I was in high school, I remember teachers saying, oh, wait until you get in the real world. The real world, guess what? There's nepotism out here in the hospitals. So many people who are doctors, their moms were doctors and their dads were doctors or their uncles were doctors. And they could be mediocre in med school and they already have a job lined up for them. We've been in the real world. What do you think the real world is? Whatever you're facing in elementary school, in middle school, in high school, in college, you've been in the real world already. Some people are in the real world when they're born. I knew somebody whose their mother actually threw them in the trash after she gave birth. His whole life, he's been in the real world. What is this metaphorical real world? What is this real world? Because I really want to understand. I want to understand. We've been in the real world. Okay, so let me tell you the story. I had a roommate. She was white. She had blonde hair. And one day she came up to me and told me that she was depressed and she wanted to have an emotional support animal. Mind you, this roommate, she literally lived 5 minutes away from our dorm, and her cat was living with her parents. And regardless, she was visiting her cat regardless. And at the time, I was scared of cats. And I told her, very, very sorry, but I'm actually really scared of cats. Like, I am really, really scared of cats. But if you bring your cat, I just don't want to, when I come in the house, I just don't want to be around it. That's what I told her. And then she cut me off and she told me, you know what? Since you're scared of cats, I'm just not going to bring my cat. I'm just not going to bring my cat. That's what she told me. So here I am thinking, oh, well, this situation is over. And I went about my life moving on. Do you know that this girl went around the whole school, the whole campus, telling everybody that I wouldn't let her have an emotional support animal when she was epileptic and depressed. I didn't even know she had epilepsy. And everyone automatically assumed, oh, there goes the mean black girl who will let the innocent, beautiful white girl with the blonde hair have her emotional support animal because she's depressed. And I remember having to argue with the apartment accomplishment where I lived at, telling them that this story did not happen and she was lying on me. And that situation happened with me in college. And I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to talk to these people in college. There's not going to be that much favoritism if I just be honest and I let them know the truth of what happened. But what ended up happening, they ended up bringing her cat in. And they said that I could not discriminate against the girl because she had depression. But I wasn't discriminating in the first place. She literally lied on me. She literally lied on me. And when I was telling them that she lied on me, they didn't care. So I have a question. When does this real world begin? Because this real world has been the same since I was a kid. Like, there's always going to be favoritism. There's always going to be competition. When does this real world begin? And I remember being in middle school, high school, and the teachers would say, oh, y'all not ready for the real world. What is the real world? Because I knew 12-year-olds who were pregnant at my school. 12-year-olds who were pregnant and about to have a baby at 12. So when did the real world begin for them? Because the real world already started. It's been here. What is this metaphorical real world? And I would just argue that I feel like it gives people a false expectation that reality is either better or worse when they get past college. You still have to network. We had to network in elementary school. You have to network as an adult. You still have to have a good personality. If you have a good personality as an adult, if you have a good personality as a kid, people are more likely to like you and you're more likely to get more opportunities, more likely to get away with things. I see that all the time in the hospital where I work at. Literally, when people are competing to get into residency spots, after a while, all those people, they're really hardworking, they're really smart. What left does the hospital administration staff have to pick from besides their personality and who they like more? I've seen people get away with things being pretty as a kid, and they're pretty now and they still get away with things. Like that guy, Prison Bay. The guy, the racially ambiguous man with the light blue eyes who women were sending him money. He was able to marry an heiress because he was attractive. So what real world? We've been in the real world since we were kids. And I would argue some people have been in the real world since they were babies, because this world is just this world. Like, what is this real world? I remember thinking, oh, when I get older, things are going to be more fair. When I get older, people are going to care about the substance of my character. When I get older, things are going to be more fair, more balanced. There's not going to be favoritism. There's going to be less teasing because we're adults. What real world? It's already been here. It's already started. I think older generations, they need to stop telling kids, wait until you're in the real world. Because we've been in the real world. And I think, honestly, the best thing to do right now is help people navigate this world we're in already. Help them navigate it as kids. Like, teach them self-esteem. Because whatever issues you have as a kid, a lot of people carry that issue with them as adults. I literally watched Tanya the other day. When she was a kid, her mother was abusing her. So when she got older into this real world, she picked a man that was abusing her too. And she was so used to being abused, she let that man ruin her career. Or when you're younger, people will give you a second or a third chance. But adults, a lot of adults as well get a second and a third chance. It just depends on your circumstances. It depends on who you know, your circumstances. It depends on so many other factors. So I would definitely argue that adults need to stop telling kids, oh, wait until you're in the real world. Because a lot of people have already been in this quote-unquote real world since they were kids. When I graduated elementary school and went to middle school and went to high school and went to college and graduated from college, what was the difference? I met the same type of people from elementary school who are in my hospital right now, and they're grown people. There are some people who they've been 12 for a long time now. They've been 12 years old for a long time now. Like, there's literally, like, one of my coworkers, she acts like she's 12 years old. Well, real world, because we're already in it. What changed from elementary school to college? I wonder, is this real world better or worse? I will argue the real world has been the real world.
Of just realizing stuff, and everyone around me, we're all just like realizing things.
Some people, they're going to be beautiful, they're going to have money, and it's going to buy them opportunities, just like it's always bought them opportunities since they were a kid. And some people, they're just going to have to work harder. As a kid, they had to work harder. As an adult, they had to work harder. I would argue that this real world is just life for some people. Some people are just going to always be beautiful, always not ever have to try. And some people are just going to always have to work hard for whatever they have. Some people may get thrown a bone here and there, but they still have to work hard. It's just life. Some people are dealt a better hand and some people are not. You just have to roll with the punches. If you're beautiful, obviously use that to your advantage. If you have a good personality, obviously use that to your advantage. But the real world is just everybody's different perspective of life. Because all some people know is the ghetto, is the trash, is the filth. And all some other people know is just opportunities and privilege and love. When life hits you and you realize, oh, dang, I got it good like that. That's your real world. But it's life. And when life hits you and you realize, oh, snap, my school system, they didn't teach us well. And now I have to hustle. That's just some other people's life. The real world is just how life is for some people. The real world is the reality that you've been living since you were a kid. That is the real world. That's my opinion. Anyway, that's my rant. Do you agree with me? Have we been in the real world for a long time? Because I remember being, having it tough as a kid. And being surprised that the real world was no different. Let me know what you think. And like and subscribe in the comment section. Let me know what you think.